Alrighty, welcome to another day in paradise, or evening in paradise. Sun's shining, she's looking good. Rightio, this is a continuation of this uaefi, Rust EFI install. You saw the boring bits last time. Sorry about the production quality, it's pretty rubbish. I've actually ordered a microphone, believe it or not, so might be able to get something a bit more professional done. Not too much, but a little bit more. Anyway, so I'm coming to the point where I'm going to start making the loom. What we have here, I'll get straight into it. This is a loom made out of string. It's all color coded. It has different little cable ties of different colors on the ends of everything. For example, these blue ones here are the injectors. The red ones are coils and what have you. They're all sort of laying out all over the place at the right lengths. This is a simple sort of loom. It carries on down here. This is how long it has to be down there to get into the cabin of the car and do its thing and reach the engine. So I've made it slightly longer than I need to because I've got plenty of room everywhere, so it's all good. Now what do? I make them out of string first, and I have another engine just lying around here. So I sort of made up a little thing that's going to be my junction point there, where then it'll split off into its various areas. So that's the deal with that. Luckily I have no engine, saved a bit of time and mucking around. So so basically I just drooped the string to where I needed it to go, cut everything to length, labelled it with different colour cable ties, and worked out where everything was, and that's like a template for my loom. So as you can see, that's it. Now I have been gathering bits and pieces. The computer itself came with these short little pigtails. They're only a foot long or so. So I was like, oh, I don't really want to just splice and cut all that stuff. The one that's for the wideband is really good. It's a good length and it's ready to go, so I'm happy with that section of it. That's cool. So I thought, right, no, I better do this properly. I'm not going to cut and solder or de-pin all these plugs and everything. So I went and found myself a whole bundle of plugs again of various kinds. I found a roll of pins for these plugs. Worked out what sort of crimpers I need. I've got various crimper tools. I've got cutters and proper ratchet crimpers, as well as other things I need to do the whole wiring job. I've got barrel connectors, proper splice barrel crimps. I have got some diode protected relays for my main relay and what have you. I have a new set of coil plugs for the Audi R8 style coils, the 4-pinners. I've got pressure sensors. I've got two of these. One's just a 3-wire pressure sensor for fuel pressure and oil pressure. One there. They did come with their own plug and a little lead, so we'll have to do some splicing on that bit of it, but that's alright. I've got, what else have I got? I've got plugs for injectors. I bought different styles of injector plugs because on the car these are the ones that have the, if you can see that through the plastic, they have the push clip on top. They're cool and they work really well, but there's not a lot of room in the engine once they're on. I bought the standard ones that you have to pick off, and they are, oh, like, there you go. Oh, they're on. That's one of the push ones. You just push and they open up. They're really good. What else have I got? Where is it? Anyway, and then I've got hold up. Oh, there we go. These are the standard ones. They don't have any push quick release system on them. They're just a clip, and those ones there are a pain in the ass, but I was just trying to get more room around the injector, so that's that. And then the final one that I think I'm going to actually use are these ones here. They have a squeeze tab on each side, and they are a lower profile plug altogether, and they fit really good. They're the ones I'll be using. So anyway, and what else have I got? I've got like a crank sensor plug, a few bits and pieces. There's still some more bits coming anyway, so it's all good. I have also got a throttle pedal. This will just about fit into the MR2 with very little modification. It's actually off a Toyota. It's metal, so you can cut and modify it if I have to, but I don't think I actually will have to do too much with it. You know, easy to cut and modify a metal pedal as opposed to one of these plastic ones. And it has a simple lever and a little, you know, 6-wire position sensor on the side of it. Nice and easy. This is actually off a, they call it Toyota Isis, which is like a small people mover type vehicle from Toyota. So that's cool. Now I had this throttle body here, which is a e-throttle off a Mitsubishi. It's a 70mm, and I was going to use that. Of course, I've got a 3-inch pipe feeding it from the intercooler. This is an old 3-inch coupler I had, and I was a little bit worried about it because it's pretty floppy. It really needs to be a little bit bigger, and I thought, what's the point of feeding the throttle body with a 3-inch pipe if it's, you know, the actual throttle body is smaller than that 3-inch pipe. So I sort of realised this, and I thought, right, I'm not quite happy with that. According to all the things I've read up, that could handle 500 to 600 horsepower, that's 70mm, but I just wanted it to make it proper so that it wasn't a restriction, you know, feeding from a 3-inch pipe down to a just under 3-inch pipe, you know, as it goes through the throttle there. So that's a bit stink, but so I've got that. I should use it. A BAM throttle body is 65, a normal throttle body on a 1.8T is a 60mm. I'll show you over here, this is the difference. So that there can actually feed into there. So it'll probably be alright to use, but I just wanted to get it right. So I found a really cheap one, some Chinese one, real cheap, and when it turned up, this freaking monster thing turned up, they sent completely the wrong one. It's like freaking 87mm or something. It's huge. I can fit my whole freaking fist into it. It's a way overkill, but it actually looks pretty good, like, you know, in terms of quality and that. But yeah, I was like, oh god. So they can send the completely wrong one. I don't know where this one come from, but yeah. So I'm going to get the proper one sent. And it's 75mm, which will mean that the 3-inch piping will squeeze on nicely, more suitable for that 3-inch pipe feeding it. So yeah, so it's not going from a 3-inch to under 3-inch and then into a big plenum. So that's cool. So that's where we're at. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to start. Oh, what else have I got? I was just over here, and all this bundle of cable here. I have, for example, this is a crank sensor cable. It's a twin core. I don't know if you can see that in there, but yeah, it's a twin core inside, and it has a shielded outside braid. So that's a protected cable for the VR sensor. That's the only thing on this that I need to, on this whole setup, that I need to protect. It's the only VR sensor on it. The cam sensor is a Hall sensor, the crank sensor is a VR, so that's for the VR sensor. I'm going to start making this loom, and it's going to be a week or so before I get it done, because I'm just doing it when I've got a chance in between time doing stuff. And I'm going to try and make it quite cool. I'm going to use crimps instead of soldering, which I always seem to solder, but I'm going to try and use the crimps finally. I've got the tools to crimp properly. I just, for some reason, I'm old school and I just like solder, but yeah, that's alright. I'm going to start this will be my center of the loom, that everything else will be based around. I'm sort of following a guide, or Rob Darm, whatever his name is, the rotary freak. I watched a good guide that he done a few years back, and he sort of based all his loom around the main crank sensor, which is a thick wire like that one. I'm not going to do a completely crazy spiral wrap freaking thing, centric twisting or whatever they call it. I'm trying to make it good, so I'm just going to take my time. It won't be perfect, but it'll be pretty damn good, so we'll stick it together and see what we come up with. Alrighty then. Alright, get into it. Okie dokie. Now, I've just made a start. Now this is messed up pretty fast in a short time, but yeah, I did learn something. These Molex light 4.2s, pretty finicky little bloody things. You've got to be really careful when you crimp them, because they don't crimp nicely. Well, they're so small, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I got it sorted, and then I had a couple of trials and stuffed it up a couple of times, but then I figured out how to do it with a combination of actually two crimper tools. I initially crimp it with a standard crimper like that, then finish it off with this one here. Unfortunately, but it takes double the time, but that's alright. But yeah, so, and as you can see, I've just started running. I've all based it on my my shielded cable here, this one here, and that's all pinned, ready to go into a plug once it's all sheathed. And I'm not spiral winding as such, but or centric winding, whatever they call it, but I am sort of loosely doing it, and I will keep on adding more wires as I go in that spiral fashion, just to keep it, apparently it keeps it flexible and makes the wire not pull and tug when you're bending it and stuff, when you're setting it up. So I thought, well, I might as well just take that little bit extra effort and get it spiral wound-ish. And yeah, and as we talked about before, no solder or crimps. So it's the first time for me using crimps instead of solder. I'm a little bit worried, but they seem to be going alright. So, alright, carry on. Alright, okay, stage one. I've got one plug here. This is a C plug, completely pinned out. May look a bit weird and wacky, but it's the way I've got it to go sideways like that. I'm sort of working out the position of the computer. Yeah, so the computer's a little bit weird because, you know, it's got plugs coming out of, you know, like every single side just about. So sort of got to route them out to come out one side altogether. Hence the reason why the plug is sideways like that. Anyway, so yeah, I've done you can see that sort of it is kind of like a spiral wrap sort of thing. And yeah, and it's interesting. It does feel different to your normal loom when you just do straight wires. It's, you know, quite sort of floppy and bendy, which is the whole point, I think, or one of the points. And I've started sort of getting these to where they need to go. That will be incorporated with other plugs and wires as well. So that's the deal. So as you can see, yeah, that's the spiral. So far, feels good. So yeah, I'll just keep on chugging along. Oh, that was my that's my crank sensor, my VR plus, VR minus, and my earth shield. Yeah, but heat shrink there where I've connected onto the earth shield and terminated it out. But yeah, so that's all good. And over here I have the start of a loom that goes over there. That's all messy and horrible looking, but that's the start of my throttle position sensor. The first 3 wires, there'll be another 3 to go there still. Obviously it's what's sort of on a separate loom, goes to a separate part of the car altogether. So yeah, so I'll continue and I'll start on another plug. I think I will start on probably my B plug, which has got my injectors and ignitions on it. Why not So I'll get into it. Right, onto it. Alrighty, now we're just progressing. Now I sort of got a bit carried away. I've sort of pinned out one plug, most of another plug. Still got more to go, but I got a little bit carried away with this what do they call it, concentric winding. I've done one layer, and now I've got my second layer going on now. And it's come out pretty good. And yeah, it's weird. It is noticeably floppier and bendier than when you just run straight wires. So it's pretty cool. It takes a little bit longer to do, but you know it's fun and interesting to do it for once. So yeah, and it comes to this point here where everything is then obviously splices out to its various pieces. So I'm probably over halfway doing it. This roll of shit here is way too long, but it's going to be for my throttle pedal. The start of it anyway. There's more wires to go in there yet. Yeah, so that's pretty fun and cool, and I'll just keep on going and get it all wound up, and then we'll start sleeving it and doing all that. But that's a pretty cool start, and yeah, so I've got another plug there to do, another one there to do, smaller ones, so hopefully they won't take too much longer. And it'd be nice if I could fit all of the next lot of wires in this second row of winding. That'd be cool, but I think I might need a bit more yet. But it's cool. Either way, it's going to get done. He's looking good. Okay, excuse the rain. You may not be able to hear it, but it's a bit wet out there at the moment. It's been hot as hell, but you know, it's another day, another week. But what I've done is I have got this here. I'll just zoom. It's better. I have bundled all my wires up. I've got them all in this sort of spiral setup here. This big jumble of mess here is where it starts sort of around about here, and it's going to then splay out into all the different things. Quite a few wires, so real good there. But this has come up pretty good, and got a few terminations to do here in terms of throttle pedal position, and my main plug to join it to the car, and a few other bits and pieces. But I think I've got it all sorted, and so now it's time to sort of start bundling all the branches, I should say, and get it looking good and getting it wrapped up. Now what I've got over here, so it's pretty dark in here, but I've got this, this is what I like this weave stuff, braid. It's really cool, and I've got it in different sizes. I've got little tiny stuff, medium, big, whatever, you know, I've got it all over. And it's good because it can, it sort of expands, and then when you slide it over the cable, you can then, once it's expanded, it sort of pulls down tight. Really good. And it's, some people have a bit of trouble cutting it, and I'll set up a camera so show you what I'm doing here. But this is what I actually use to cut it. This is a believe it or not, it's a ribbon cutter. And I turn it on, and it's got a hot wire, and I just slice through it with that, and it seals off all the little frayed edges, and it makes it work really well. Everything works perfectly. So that's a cheap Chinese like ribbon cutter, I think it's classed as. But man, it just works perfectly for that braid stuff, eh? So, all right, I'll get into it. Okay, so yep, I've measured out some of my my braid here, and I'm going to cut it off. Let's just show you how good this thing works. All right, here we go. It's hot. Just snips like that, and it's all good. No fraying on the end. It's perfect. All right, it's another day, and I'm just showing the progress, what we got here. I've just got this old engine here that I've just sort of laid everything out on, and just to work out some lengths and stuff. But what we've got is we've got the computer in here. Sorry, it's a bit dark in here, but we've got the computer in here all laid out. We've got my main relay holder with 3 fuses for the various things it needs to power. I've got some bit of Loom here for the throttle pedal and a couple other things that need to be down here. So it's all good. A lot of wires in here. It's probably about as thick as my thumb. I've used wire gauges that are probably fractionally too big for their purposes most of the time, which is fine. I'd rather overdo it than underdo it. And I've come to a sort of a junction point here. I'm just going to turn this down a bit. Here we go. I've come to a junction point here where everything splays out to its various things. Everything's labelled, injectors and what have you. Nothing's got plugs on it yet, but it's all braided. It's all looking nice. And, what is this thing? Variable speed sensor. There you go. So just little things like that. So I've just gone through everything. I'm just going to get the mains, if I can, if it's possible. I'm going to try and get all this squeezed down and get the big sheathing braid to go over all of that, all the way to the computer. And I still have a slightly little bit of work to do at the coil end, because the coils are a 4-wire coil, but I've got to do all the earths for the coils, so the earth side of everything. So we're all good there. So it's looking good, and we'll get this sheathed up, hopefully, if I can squeeze it over the top, and we'll be ready to put a grommet on it, work out how it's going to fit into the car, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, we finally got somewhere. Right, this is what we're up to. I'm not going to plug those in yet, because they are, they're not very nice little plugs, those things, and they you gotta sort of force them in and out. They're not very nice. So I'm just going to leave them like that. I've got my relay, diode protected relay, some fuses, spaced out, various things. One's for the coils mainly, the big one on the left there, because the coils suck a power. I've got this Loom here, which is going to my accelerator pedal, and there's also a single wire there for the like a clutch switch for the launch control and what have you. I've got an intake air temperature there, and my little connectors, wherever they are, these little ones here, don't fit my sensor for some reason, and I didn't realize there's different shaped internals for the GM sensors. I thought they were all the same, but they're not. So yeah, so I've got a couple of them coming, the right ones. The reason the intake air temperature is here is because it is not far away from the ECU, so it's cool. This is my set of wires going to my main harness of the car. Alternator light, start signal, ignition input, stuff like that. And my MAP sensor is down by the computer too, so that's why that's all there. This is all braided. Looks pretty good. It's quite tight getting this on. Got a big sleeve there, all heat shrunk on. I've got various things here. So basically I've got to put all my plugs on to all these wires now and get it all plugged up. That's next on the list. I've got all the things laid out. They're all labelled. It's a boost solenoid, alternator, some ground wires, everything's there. So I've just got to go through and get it sorted. So plug it all up, and that'll be it. And that might be the end of the video once I get it all plugs on, and we'll be done. And then we'll go to the next stage. All right, it's night time here now, and it's probably got a bit dark for you, but anyway, this is what we got. I've plugged up as much as I'm going to do. You've seen all that, and this is just sprawled out everywhere. But yeah, I've got all my main plugs all done, labeled, injectors, coils, sensors, and what have you. I'm still waiting on a couple of plugs to turn up that we talked about before, but in general, it's all plugged up and ready to go. So I think I'm going to end this video here now, and the next stage will be, I think, while I'm waiting for the sensors plugs to turn up for the air intake and the coolant temp sensor plugs to turn up, I think what I might do is, I've just asked on the Facebook group about powering up this unit for the first time. So as far as I understand, the unit can be plugged in to the laptop by itself via the USB port, and we can go ahead and set up as much as we can set up as it is, and hopefully we can get it to a point where, if everything works out all right, in that case then I can plug it into the Loom and I can power up the Loom on the bench, and in that case I'll be able to set up the throttle body and make sure everything seems to be in the ballpark, and hopefully the smoke won't escape. So we'll see what happens. One thing of note is this is a Nissan style throttle body. It has 6 pins in there. They are freaking tiny little bastards, and I mean, I thought the Molex light pins were small and not very nice to deal with, but these pins that are in this throttle body plug, they are tiny. I mean, they are so tiny that the if you see that, but the wires, you know, I thought, oh yeah, I'll just run a good gauge wire, because, you know, it's a DC motor, and I thought it might draw. I've heard they can draw up to 4 amps sometimes in full movement, in fast full movement. Who knows? So I thought, oh well, I will use some good gauge wire, but the wire is so fat, I don't know if you can actually see that, it hardly even squeezes into the receptacle of the plug. The wire is the thing that holds it up, so I had to really struggle to push them in and get them to click home. But yeah, so in hindsight, obviously that doesn't draw as much current as I was thinking, and I should have just used a smaller gauge wiring for that throttle body. But anyway, so I'm going to call that quits now. Wrap up this video. It's probably going to be a bit longer than my normal videos, but hopefully you've seen what I'm up to and come along the journey of setting this all up. Just a normal everyday guy like myself, setting up this computer, and hopefully we have a winner in the end. And for everybody that's answered any of my random questions that I keep on asking on Facebook and that, thank you very much for your help. And the next video will be seeing if I can make this smoke escape, and or not. So wish me luck. All right, talk to you soon. Bye bye.